You have a vision for your body, for your business, but do you have a vision for your relationship? One of the best times to do this can be if you just met someone you liked and you broke up with them. Because sometimes a cautionary tale, when having a guideline and direction for a relationship, if we meet someone and we are in like the charmed and enchanted stage in the first few months, and we're not seeing really clearly and we're having great sex, we can make a vision where we try to fit them into it. That can be the fearful, anxious, needy guy. I've done that in the past. But having a vision is really important to know where you're going, and it starts to send a signal, and a stronger signal, to the universe of what your yes is and what your no is. I have seen people that have 10 qualities. I think that's a good number. If you have 687, that's probably way too many. But 10 core qualities or values. And to not have one of those, the whole thing literally falls apart. Like, it could be maybe good, it's gonna have enough challenges. You know, if you're watching this channel, you're probably someone who values your health, values biohacking, taking care of your body, or you know that's important. And with some of the latest research coming out, you know that's important for your future children, not just how long you're gonna be around, but also, if you're to get a woman pregnant tonight, whatever you were doing 72 days ago, that's the sperm quality. So if you were in Cancun and getting drunk, yeah. The importance of having a vision is to have the precision. Again, to know what to say yes to know what to say no to. I have a very short relationship talk. Ready? Most people are doing two things. They're with the wrong person, and they're also showing up as the wrong person. Meaning, they probably don't have the level of alignment that they really want, and they try to stay and they try to make it work. If they're young, they don't know who they are, so it's harder to pick. The older we get to know ourselves a bit better. And at 20, you kind of think just, this is me. At 30, you're like, okay, I know a couple things. I didn't realize I was kind of a dumbass. 40, you know a bit more. 50, you know a bit more. And you also start to realize there's parts of you. So the part of you that may have attracted a relationship for those first 3 months, it's now almost 2 years later, that same dude isn't showing up. And we're wondering why our woman, the female, the receiver energy, is responding different. If we're giving her junky energy, we're gonna get back junky energy multiplied. Just like a woman multiplies a baby, she multiplies energy, or whatever you give her. You give her shit, you give her money, more comes back. I wanna touch on a few core things of how to have the basic framework for a relationship vision. What most people do is they think of just what they want, but they oftentimes don't. I can think back as it popped in my head. They'll generally say what they don't want. Well, you know what? I had someone that cheated. I had someone that smoked. I had someone that, they didn't want to be a mom. I had someone that this, that. And they'll list the things they don't want. I remember having this conversation, this is like a decade ago, with a female friend of mine. I think we're in Miami. And I was telling her this. I was like, yeah, and most people just, you ask them what they want and they say what they don't want. What the fuck? And she's like, yeah, I know. Like, I've been going to these seminars and stuff, and like, yeah, it's totally true. So I'm like, okay, we'll call her Lisa, because she has a very unique name. I won't trash her here. Lisa, what do you want? I just don't want a relationship. I don't want someone who gambles. I don't want someone who has money problems, and I don't want someone who smokes. And I go, great. So what do you want? Well, I told you. And she kept going through this, and I was teasing her. I was like, and then I remember it was a cute moment for her. She was like, oh shit. As much as inner work I've done, even I forgot, and I was talking about what I don't want, what I'm afraid of, what the past hurts were, which have nothing to do with the future, and creating from this wounded past. So the first thing is, what do you want? If you've never done this, get out a piece of paper, do it now, pause the video. Write out as much as you possibly can. If you write 72 pages, bro, my homie. And then also we have to figure out what's really important. We can get lost in nonsensical things that we think it's going to give us some ego validation or whatever, or, do you want a girl? Do you need a girl who's done plant medicine? Or do you need a girl who's got to that level of evolution, consciousness, personal development, relationship with herself that plant medicine can often provide? They're actually pretty different. I remember talking to another girl, this was years ago, and she had so many rules for what she wanted. We were at a Joe Dispenza seminar in Peru. It's like 7 years ago, yeah. And I was asking what she wants. She goes, I need someone who meditates at least an hour every morning at 5 a.m. I was like, holy shit. I was like, people are getting up at like 4:30 and meditating for an hour? It was my first Joe Dispenza event. I did not know. So she does this. I'm listening to her. I'm thinking. And I was like, what if a guy meditated 45 minutes in the morning? He's not serious about his spirituality. And I was like, whoa. I was like, could be meditating 45 minutes and be way more chill than you. So first list what I want. Go nuts, even if you have the crazy rules. And then you can create that down to like, these are my 10 core things, my 10 core values, my 10, I mentioned the biohacking one earlier. That's a common one. If someone's eating conventional American food, and this guy who's writing out this vision now wants to have a household, has kids or is going to have kids soon, and picking the mother to be, and she goes to McDonald's twice a week. Might not be a good fit. So that's list number one. List number two, which is important, what don't I want? Where you can take some of that stuff from the past. What I do recommend, if you're going through that, if it's able to be translated, put it back on the first list. To state it in the affirmative rather than talking to God, talking to the universe, this is what I don't want. I don't think it's black and white. However, it is powerful what you give your energy to. The third list, the most important list, you need the first two to get it. The third list is so important that the first two are almost completely irrelevant. Who do I need to become to start attracting women like that? Doesn't mean you're not good enough. Doesn't mean something's wrong with you. However, I'll give you an example. I am moving from Medellin, Colombia to Miami. Miami is more expensive. I want to provide an even better lifestyle than I've had in Medellin in Miami. So for me, money and impact is part of that. For my list that I'm revising right now. What is it for you? Who do you need to become? What do you need to heal? What do you need to clear out? What do you need to go, man, I keep wasting money and energy with these credit cards. I got to pay them off and go debt free for 6 months. And just, even if things are a little tight, that'll create some new energy. What kind of man do you need to become for your future kids? What kind of man, or who are you in your soul that you're going to recognize now as the guy that came along to be a chain breaker in bullshit and pain and fear and anger in his lineage to build something magnificent that his ancestors in the afterlife are cheering him on like some gladiator movie or something? It's not just to get the relationship. It's like, who's that version of you for the relationship, and it can be on with the kids. The fourth list, which feeds into the third list, is what are you committed to giving right now? You might be in a place where you're building your business a lot. Your time is super valuable and you're in build mode. And enough of the guys I work with, they get in build mode and they view a relationship as pulling away from building their financial future and their business, which paradoxically, they're wanting a family and kids, but then they're afraid the relationship is going to get in the way, which with rare exception is inherently false. You could be working 80 hours a week. You could see a girl twice a week for 2 hours. And if you're really with her, you're really present with her, and she sees like, wow, this guy's building something. That 2 hours twice a week, maybe it's even less, maybe it's 90 minutes. That means more energetically and emotionally to a woman if you're really present with her versus just a lot of bullshit texting or long phone calls where you're kind of distracted or you're thinking about work or you're thinking about the game or you're thinking about why are your peptides late that you ordered or whatever you're thinking about. These 4 lists will give you the foundation. The 3rd list is the most important, and just focusing on who's that guy that you're going to become and who's the essence of your soul, of what you're bringing in here to totally change the direction of not just your life as an individual, your family that you have already created or you're creating now, but literally you're the motherfucking chain breaker of your lineage. And if you don't know it, maybe today's the day to accept it and to own it. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon. In a couple more weeks, videos from the States.